guys? Hello. Um, Welcome to my video. And how have you been? If this is your first time watching my video, which probably will is because I recently deleted all of my videos that I spoke in English except for one, and I don't know how much English speaking viewers had watched it. So yeah. So maybe hi for the first time. um I think I just started to film this video because I wanted to chat. Yeah. I just realized that um the sole purpose of the most important my hidden goal of starting a vlog was to just have someone to chat about really personal things, and that really doesn't happen a lot when you are kind of odd man out in your society. And which what I mean by in my case of being an odd man out is that um, I lived in English speaking country for about 10 years, and that's when I was growing up. So even though my English is not like 100% uh, fluent or perfect, neither is my home country language, which is Korean. And most importantly, I didn't get the uh, pure culture in Korea. And I am realizing as uh, now I'm in my 30s, early 30s, um, how those culture aspects are more um, effective to being able to have some community of people in probably in your similar ages. Because I don't know, it's not about the language, it's all about the culture, it's all about the vibe that we know without saying. It's all about the um, fitting in with the knowing like right things to say, like knowing what we usually like in some kind of situations, like usually what Koreans say or do. And in my case, as I like when I was in America, I tried really hard to fit in to that culture, and it was in my early 20s when I came back to Korea, and I'm just right now I'm in the middle of talking, I'm fixing a decaf coffee. So excuse me. Where was I? Oh, so yeah, I was really trying to fit in when I was in America to think and act like, and to kind of like know the vibe, like to really like take it in with your body, like so that it will just come up like this, like I was trying to be the second citizen. Well, I wanted to be like the native in America because I didn't know I was going to come back to Korea and live here, which I'm very happy about. Living with my family, living with my parents, and having all this Korean life experience. They're all, I'm very satisfied with that. So, but like the thing is, when I want to have like a group of people to interact with in my similar age, or if I want to be in some kind of a community, I don't feel very comfortable uh, in actively participating in communities or society or just a group of people for socializing itself. I don't feel comfortable at all. Excuse me. Like first thing why is that uh being an introvert, I'm not good at it already. and second of all I don't I don't look like American. I don't talk like in my Korean does not sound like, oh, she's from another country, but just sound like, oh, maybe she's a little slow at speaking, or maybe she's a little slow at picking up things. You know what I mean? I really wish someone else there are some other few people is a few people who exactly knows what I'm going through. It's like if you know the lots of uh English speaking Korean celebrities in Korea, they sound like they are foreigners, even if they are speaking in English. And if that's so, in that case, you will get the full respect. But in my case, sadly, I don't sound like I'm from foreign country, but I sound like I'm a little, maybe a little bit slow in talking or understanding. So that is kind of stressful. So where blah what I was going to say about talk about. what I was heading to was that in my case, if I want to be in a group of people and interact with some other people, I need to find a community that has the similar interest as I have. So, for example, what I'm talking about is that I am really into literature, psychology, psychoanalysis, if you will, and mental health. Uh, did I mention literature? Yeah. uh, Not only Korean literature, but also English, American literature, um, mostly humanities and art. So yeah, I know there are lots of communities where people just gather around like before or after work or even at like on Sundays or even through Zoom so that they can really have this chance to talk about um, their interest that is probably not within their jobs. Yeah, so those communities are very active. Like in your town, there are lots and lots and lots of communities. There are like countless. There are even like in competition, like about gathering more people, gathering more members, and not only that, there are lots of like paid communities that hire the how do you hire the lecturers, and the lecturers are not just someone who volunteer, but they are who professionals in that lecture. Like there are maybe already working in some publishing companies. They are like psychologists. They are writers, like legit writers, um, art, science, math. You just name it. So there are lots of culture stuff in here, and I love it. So I have no other difficulties in living in Korea other than that. So I'm like half joking and half really thinking about it. I'm like, should I sound more like American when I'm talking Korean so that everyone will know that I'm not 100% Korean in my mind? Like, should I change my tone? Should I change my uh, accent? You know? Yeah. So enough of that was like the introduction, the worst introduction of the vlog ever. But I just wanted to actually complain about um, being an half American, half Korean, uh, living in Korea. Anyways, so um, in this video, I wanted to talk about like how you deal with the stuff in the past. Yeah, and I mean by dealing with the stuff that happened in the past, I mean serious bad things. Yeah, so if that's what you came for, I've got some story to tell you, and I've got some practices that I want to introduce to you that is working for me. Yeah, so it's me right here in my PJ talking about some serious stuff. So as an opening line, I just want to go forward of talking about this book, Atomic Habits. Not a paid advertisement at all. My dad just introduced me to read this since he was reading it and he found it really good and helpful, and he didn't tell me how and why. So I was like just like this, like are they interesting? And then they were. There were some lines that were really catching about making an actual habit or actual sets of habits that you really want to build in order to make your life, in my case, a little less messier. So let me introduce you like how it was all going through. So like I mentioned before, like I've been through some really bad stuff. That was really it changed it changed my whole personality. It changed my whole perspective and the view to look at life itself. It just changed who I am. It completely changed who I am. And what the worst part was that I was so traumatized for a long time. I couldn't. Oops, sorry. I couldn't understand, comprehend, nor let alone explain it to other people about what happened and what was going through. So um, it just took me longer and longer to get the right doctor to talk about my stuff. It's my stuff. Talk about the stuff that had happened to me, and it's a little bit sad to know that it. I'm so sorry. Let me. There we go. Now it all quiet, peace and quiet. So it was the doctor said it was initially difficult for him to totally believe in me because he thought I was a little bit exaggerating things because I might have PTSD from the events that happened chronologically almost throughout my whole life of growing. Yeah. So thing is, so that as a result, my life was a mess. Took me about like so helped my life back. Uh, so made it very late and late and late, and I managed to uh, really almost kill myself to go back to university when I was in America, and almost kill myself to force myself to get hired get a job, and you know, and be kept hired for 1 year, which didn't happen. But and now I'm working and I'm all well, I'm all okay. That's why I wanted to really make this video to kind of put an end to this. Like I want to start a new chapter about my life, and I just want to talk about it first, and then by talking about it and by making a video record of like how I am starting a new chapter with the help of this book of making like habits and reducing my bad habits. I want to make a video as in like an evidence for myself. So yeah, so my life legitimately started when I in the early 30s. That's when my life really got started. And I said started, it's not in a very stable position in every way, job, like family financials, my own financial things, uh, everything. But I'm just so glad that I can start my own life and realizing that I am the driver of my own life, of my own car, which is called life. Like I can choose what I think is worthy. I can ditch what I think is worthless. I can think and live differently. Mm, than how my parents thought and lived. I'm not saying that they hadn't made any mistakes in their life choices. I'm just saying that I realize I'm different, and I can think about it and make choices and what to learn, what to absorb, what to use, and what to really like. I can tell that they are very wise in thinking in some other things. But since the world has changed so fast lately, and I'm just from a different culture, and the future that I want to face is very different. So some of the things of my parents, just I have to disagree and I have to just let go, and that really felt kind of really good. I thought it would be really. I thought I'll feel guilty if I reject any of their opinions, any of their life knowledge, wisdoms, things like that. But no, actually, it felt good to reject. And one of my biggest problem was not being able to reject because I was a huge people pleaser. Okay, to the point where I thought I mean to the point where I didn't know which was my thoughts and which were my emotions and which were not mine. So yeah. So anyways, so in summary of previous talk, I am in my early 30s, starting a new chapter of my life, and uh, I'm Korean, but my mind is like 80% American, and I have been living in Korea for almost 5 years, I'd say. It's actually, if you count them, they are 8 years or something like that. But I would say my life has been started in last 5 years. So, and after living those 5 years in Korea as an adult, my second chapter would be okay. I became an adult. Now my second chapter is living as an adult, uh, being financially, which includes being financially independent from my parents, and looking for or stabilizing my job that will make me okay, that will feed me for the last at least 5 years. And third, having the habits and the routines of my days, not the ones that are for successful people or to be like a millionaire, billionaire, how to succeed, like making routines and habits. They are not my goals. Like I don't have enough right now energy, time, nor dream or goal to be successful, rich, and famous or anything like that. Right now, I'm trying to have established life, and that's just it. Simply, that's it. And then, very luckily, this Habits book just came into picture and is playing a real big role in my days. So I'm just going to and since I am very bad at freely talking without making plans ahead, I'm going to talk about this book first. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to put my personal life and personal things like in the middle of those introductions of this book and how how I'm putting this what do you say what I read into an actions every day. So since this book is very famous in America, I know, but since this one I have right now is in Korean, I'm just going to make a stars and circles in the uh in these contents pages, which really drew me in, and which could really change just by the sentence itself. So yeah, let me show you that. Okay, I'm done highlighting things. So this is the contents pages, and I circled some, actually made a star on little sentences here, and these are the ones that really made me decide to read this book, which is, first, I've only changed 1% every day, and that really hit in me like a baseball, no, like a basketball, from like 10 feet away, 100 feet away. Yeah. And then second is, throw away that goal, you know. And if, okay, just this video just cut me out when it was really important. This was one of the most important thing. The title was throw out that goals, and it follows with, hey, silly, the problem is the system, which means the problem is not the goal, it's the system. The system of habits, it's a system of routines themselves. And I'm like, oh yeah, um, they're telling me I was being silly. Yeah, you're right. I feel really like a stupid person, but I wish I wasn't the only one, and that's why this book is so popular. And the another one is the is saying, chapter 2 saying, is that identity is one of the biggest secret which move people. And I know how um, boring or debatable this one is, but by identity, the author is referring to the person that you imagine to be, the person that you want to be. It's not about like a job or like huge goals. I was surprised about this one too. He was talking about, I'm a person who read like before I go to sleep. That is one of the identity, and those like our pictures in our head that about the person that we want to be. Like, I want to be the person who dresses well. I want to be the person who stretches every morning. Those are counted as identities, and I was like, yeah, right. He is absolutely right. And it does, when we do things to, makes our identity stronger and stronger every day, it empowers ourselves, and uh, increases our self-esteem. Yeah, so I agree with that. And he's going to continue at chapter 3, talk about how to make a real changes by the help of the change of uh, environment, help of the change of the places, and how to make it easy and simple and desirable for us to do it. I was like, yeah, I truly need that. And about chapter 5 and 6, I put like a crying face on this one, because like because I know how these two are very, very important. These two are right now what I cannot easily change right now. Let me tell you what they are. First, changing the place and the environment. I'm living with my parents right now, and there are just so much that I can really change about my environment, let alone changing my parents. But I cannot change this atmosphere of this family, or how big or small my room is, So the time when the title says the time when the habits meet time and places. And this doesn't really work for me right now. So I put like a sad face on here. But I know there will be other ways to go around them, and so I really kind of have to use my brain. And last but not least, as he said, when you want to make habits, make it really clear and very specific and like to detail, and make it as continuous actions, so that one will naturally follow others and then will naturally follow others. And yeah, it really makes sense. But I'm really bad at making other things very clear. For example, I'm not clear at about like what kind of lifestyle I want to live, what kind of job I really want to get, what kind of habits I really want to have. So this is like a really this one is really early for me to build yet, because I don't know them yet. So I really, after reading this, before reading this, after reading to the part 2 of this book, I really decided to, I really wanted to decided that I want to know what my life is headed to. Did that make sense? What I want my life to be like. Yeah. So I want to know for what I want to make a system of, for what I want to make my habits of, and for what I want to work for, and things like that. So I am working on the part 1 of this book, and later, when I kind of get the idea, which I'm not very rushing, but nor really like being lazy, is then I will move to the part 2. And this is not really demanding book at all. It's actually fun. This is like the really crucial time for me to know what I want and what I want to continue in the future, to live accordingly for at least 2 years ahead, because they can always change. But I just realized that it cannot change like anytime that I want to. I want to know my purposes. I want to know what I like, and I want to know why, in which priority, many of my priorities, and I want to know which one I really value the most and want to focus the most, which will dramatically change the uh, everyday things that I do in my life. So, okay, I'm going to get a remote control for this vlog, I promise. This is just the last time that I'm clicking the buttons with my fingers. Anyways, one of the small subtitles was just throw out that goal of yours and focus on the system. And the book provides the example, which is, first goal, it can be having a very clean room, right? But if you only make it as your goal, um, it will be accomplished just only one time. And that was which was I was going through all the time. I will clean my room. I will have a deep cleansing of my room, and after a week, it will go back to the normal mess. So I was like, yeah, exactly. I need a system. So the another subtitle was like, I was only sorry, just change 1% of your day, which means like, okay, I'm going to hang up my jacket after I come home. So I just remembered that all I have to change a day is just 1%, and that really helped me. It wasn't. It was always different from. It was different from every book that always tell you, or other influencers or other like lectures tell you that make this system routine from like morning to like night, have this firm schedule, fixed schedule, and you know like change the whole day in like in one or two trials, and it never worked for me. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm going to now focus on making systems. I'm not going to make a plan anymore about waking up at 5 a.m., like leaving the house at like 7:30, and being at the office like 9 a.m. No, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to, just like in this book says, I'm going to, like, every day, 1% by 1%, or 1.5%, maybe some days, I'm going to work on waking up easily for a second. Waking up more easily than yesterday, and being in a good mood, 1% better mood than yesterday, and things like that. So making the system is fun, and I am writing them down because I am forgetting what I'm trying to. So this is my a little book note that I got it in dollar. Then so that I remember what I'm changing. And the good thing about this book is that before you change any of your habits or systems or routines, it makes you know how you are living right now. And I was so surprised about how simply this author knows about what we really do, what are the crucial things we do, and how we have problems in making our desirable routines. So let me show you with the simple routines. The simple things that we are doing. He says like write them down. Like what do we do? This is really simple and funny. Like listen, we get out of bed in the morning. We take shower. We brush our teeth. We get dressed. We drink coffee. We have breakfast. We go to work. We have lunch. We come back from work. We change. We have dinner maybe. Uh, Turn the light up and go to bed. This is what we maybe every day do. And the author continues to say that this list can get longer, but you know what I'm saying right now. I was like, yup. Mm-hmm. And he goes like, okay, let's just simplify it more and just let's write down about what happens every day to us. First, the sun rises. Second, we get texts or emails. Third, the alarm bell rings. Fourth, the sun sets. And if we compare this to these two lists, we know where and how we can um, get our habits, new habits or desired habits between these lists, among these lists. So yeah, so I put the book down when I kind of reached about here, and I imagine myself to have this write down my routine that I am following right now, and it's really funny. And here it goes. First, I get up. Second, I snooze for like 10 minutes. Third, gets up again. Fourth, have breakfast and uh, make a coffee and bring that into my room. Fourth, have a mental breakdown in my room for 30 minutes. And then shower, and then come back to my room. And then it says, I try to be sane for like 20 minutes. And then putting hair and makeup, and then getting dressed, and another mental breakdown for like 10 to 20 minutes. And the problem is when I'm having a mental breakdown, I have this really bad habit of going through the online shops and purchasing things, or just browsing. So when I'm having a mental breakdown, I think I want to have this have this desire to have something that will make me feel better, or to make up for my lost negative energies. I always go to the online shopping and just keep scrolling them down, and just finds out what I need when I'm already full of stuffs. And then he says, purchase things until I have $0 or the zero Korean ones. I was like, good, I know myself very well. And then I come to my room, and I get a little dizzy, because of too much of mental breakdown and thinking. And then this is when I'm not working, but this one also includes when I'm working. Just I have to change my room to the office, and then I get a little sane at about 4 p.m. I don't know why. I don't, I have no idea why, and I don't even know why it is what it is. But at about like 4 p.m., I get really sane, and I get sane. And when mean by sane is that it's not like I'm crazy every day in the morning. What I mean by sane is my head is really clear, clean, and I'm not overthinking, I'm not worrying about anything. I'm very clean and in my thinking, stuff like that. And when I come back home, I clean room, and then I had I included this one saying I regret. I spent some 10 to, if long, 1 hour about regretting things, regretting everything about the day, or regret everything about I said or done or thought or anything. And then another one is complaining about assignments, and another one is doing some assignments that I've been procrastinating about. So yeah, that was my life, and you can just know how messy, messy, messy it is, and this is not going to get me anywhere. I promise. So I was like, this was more serious than I thought. So I'm going to uh change those habits a little bit by little bit, remembering them that what is really important is the system and the feelings that I get, the happiness that I get while I am working on the systems, not the huge goals that will just make me, you know, disappointed, anxious, unencouraged, and everything. So yeah, thank you very much for watching my video. This is just the introduction and the beginning of what I'm going to do since starting this 2025, sorry. And I have this is one of uh the purchases that I did regret about, but it was truly useful. January 2025 is going to be different from all of my entire life. So I wish some people will be in the same journey with me, and or that I can make at least make this vlog video more interesting and more watchable, so that maybe this one can be a motivation to other people too. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to share every progresses that I make, and every mistakes that I make, and how I make up for them. So cheers to everyone who is trying to change their life in this new year, and I'll see you very soon again with what I do for about next few days.